Okay, let's just dive right in. If you're tuning into this explainer today, chances are you're the kind of person who really likes to be prepared. You've probably got the goals, the spreadsheets, the 5-year timelines, the whole shebang. But what if I told you that trying to map out every single step of your professional life is actually a scientifically flawed strategy? It's true. Today, we're going to explore the literal physics of career planning, and we are going to completely dismantle the idea that you need some flawless step-by-step roadmap to succeed.
So why is that perfectly detailed life plan practically destined to fail? Well, we all feel that immense pressure to map out a perfect future. You know the drill, right? Pick the right major, get the prestigious internship, lock down that junior position, and boom, climb the ladder to management by age 30. It sounds amazing on paper, but here's the catch. Setting highly specific, completely inflexible goals is usually a doomed battle against the fundamental laws of the universe. When you lock yourself into a hyper-detailed plan, you are making one massive, highly risky assumption that the world is going to stay exactly the same over the next 5 to 10 years. And, as we all know, that is literally never the case.
We're constantly caught in this massive tug of war. On one side, you have the intense societal and parental expectation for a perfectly stable, predictable job. But on the other side, you have the world's reality, which is inherently complex and entirely random. Seriously, imagine actually sitting your parents down and saying, "Hey mom, dad, listen, I can't guarantee I'll be a senior accountant at a top firm in exactly 5 years, because the real world operates on pure randomness. So insisting I follow a rigid 10-year path is actually a terrible strategy for my long-term survival." I mean, they'd probably look at you like you have two heads. But the absolute truth is, while they just want to eliminate uncertainty to keep you safe, trying to completely eliminate uncertainty is practically impossible.
Which brings us to Section 1, the illusion of control and thinking in probabilities.
We really need to completely redefine what career planning means in a world that absolutely refuses to stand still. You see, we suffer from this illusion of control. We kind of think that if we just plan hard enough, we can somehow command the future. Well, scratch that. We need to replace that illusion with thinking in probabilities. Career planning shouldn't be about locking in one exact goal to magically make uncertainty disappear. Instead, true planning is about finding a general direction within expected future probabilities. Think about it. When you decide to study a really hot field or pick up a highly sought-after skill, you aren't guaranteeing yourself a specific job title. No way. What you're actually doing is acting within a probability framework. You're just increasing your odds of success by making yourself incredibly valuable across a wide variety of potential future scenarios.
Moving right along to Section 2, the uncertainty principle.
Okay, to really grasp why rigid goal setting fails, we're going to step totally outside traditional business advice and look at a concept straight out of quantum physics. Now, don't worry, I promise absolutely no advanced math required here. But the physical laws of our universe actually have a ton to teach us about our careers. In quantum mechanics, Heisenberg's uncertainty principle states that you literally cannot simultaneously measure both the exact position and the exact momentum of a particle. Basically, the more precisely you know where a particle is, the less you know about where it's going. And this isn't a failure of our scientific tools, it's a fundamental law of nature. Just like you can't measure every detail in the microworld, you absolutely cannot predict every detail of your professional future. Randomness is not a bug in your planning, it is a built-in feature of reality. So, let's contrast the flawed strategy of aiming for a fixed point with the scientific approach of targeting a flexible range. The old way, deciding you absolutely must be a senior manager in exactly 5 years, is like trying to pin down that tiny quantum particle. It's incredibly fragile. If the industry shifts just a bit, or, a massive global event happens, your whole plan shatters. But the new, probabilistic way, that's planning for a range. You say, I'm going to build adaptable communication, leadership, and technical skills that make me super competitive across a really broad set of opportunities. You aren't aiming for a tiny dot on a map anymore, you are aiming for a massive, highly lucrative zone.
And that sets us up perfectly for Section 3, the random walk.
This brings us to another fascinating physical concept that perfectly describes the chaotic, totally unpredictable trajectory of our professional lives. Have you ever felt like your career is really just a series of happy accidents and sudden left turns? Well, if so, you're actually operating exactly as the universe intended. In physics and math, a random walk describes a path made up of a succession of random steps, kind of like a molecule just bouncing off other molecules in a liquid. Your career path is literally a random walk. It's constantly being bumped and shifted by unpredictable chain reactions. You meet someone at a random conference, right? Which leads to getting coffee, which suddenly leads to a job offer in a city you literally never planned to live in. Overly precise planning is just fighting against this reality. The most successful career paths are rarely straight lines. They're the brilliant result of adapting to your environment and capitalizing on those sudden chain reactions.
So how do we actually survive a random walk without just leaving everything up to blind luck? Well, you build a survival toolkit. Instead of predicting exact outcomes, you navigate this randomness by deliberately increasing your overall probability of success. You position yourself in high-potential directions like AI, big data, or tech, where the random opportunities that pop up are likely to be fantastic. You build cross-domain skills so you can pivot on a dime. You maintain a huge capacity for continuous learning. And honestly, most importantly, you keep an open mind so you can grab onto those accidental opportunities instead of ignoring them just because they weren't written into your rigid 5-year plan.
Let's pull this all together in Section 4, the power of adaptability.
Embracing uncertainty isn't just a nice trick to reduce your anxiety. It actually makes you significantly more competitive. It's the ultimate strategy for long-term career success. When we put these two approaches head-to-head, it's incredibly clear that adaptable planning will always crush a static plan in a complex world. Rigid planning inevitably drags you right into the perfectionism trap. I mean, if you miss your exact target by even an inch, you feel like a total failure, and you might just abandon the whole journey entirely. Adaptable planning, on the other hand, is dynamic. It accepts the randomness of the world and fosters the exact kind of open-mindedness you need to pivot and truly thrive when the unexpected inevitably strikes.
I want to highlight this quote directly from our source material because it really hits the nail on the head for everything we're exploring today. True wisdom is not about controlling everything, but understanding uncertainty, accepting randomness, and adjusting to change. That right there is the secret sauce. The goal isn't to grip the steering wheel so tightly that your knuckles turn white. The real goal is to understand the terrain, know your general direction, and be completely 100% willing to take a detour when the road ahead is blocked or when a much more scenic, promising route suddenly opens up out of nowhere.
So, knowing that the actual physical laws of the universe favor flexibility over rigidity, I'm going to leave you with this final thought to ponder about your own future. Take a hard look at your current life plan right now. Is it a rigid set of fixed points that's just waiting to shatter the very next time the world changes? Or is it a flexible, probabilistic framework, perfectly designed to capture the random, brilliant opportunities you haven't even imagined yet? It's time to stop fighting the universe, drop those exhausting illusions of total control, and start leveraging the incredible power of randomness.